Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. So today we're going to be talking about Big Joe Budden again. It has just gotten a lot worse. We covered this a couple weeks ago about Rory and Mal leaving, and I even talked about this in depth on the Patreon only podcast that you can get in for as low as $5. But since then, Rory and Mal has went on another strike. Joe fired them on the podcast. They even said he was sitting in the studio talking to their seats, which is kind of crazy to think about. But since then, they have come out, they have done their own sort of pseudo podcast where they just discuss some of the things that Joe was talking about on his platform. And there seems to be two sides to this. Some people that are siding with Rory and Mal, and then more so people that are having the academics approach and they're siding with Joe, and they're like, man, if you don't show up to work, you won't get fired, right? Now, I gotta give a little side story that's gonna tie into all of this. So there was a woman named Olivia that was on a podcast called See the Thing Is that has Mandi B and Bridget Kelly. I'm not a fan of Mandi B. Full Court Pumps, the Horrible Decisions podcast host. I'm not the biggest fan, and I don't really like See the Thing Is podcast, mainly because some of their takes is just straight stupid, and for some reason, anytime I get on YouTube, that's the only post I ever see from Joe Budden's page now is the See the Thing Is podcast post. It's very annoying, and I'm not a big fan of it. So there was the third woman named Olivia that was on the podcast left not even 25 episodes in, and I thought when I first saw that, I'm like, man, it gotta be something going on here that makes a podcast host leave. I know Joe has been considered to be very erratic in the past and sometimes let people go, so I'm like, I don't know, I just assumed some behind the scenes games happened and that's why she left to decide to do her own thing. Now let's fast forward to the present. Because of everything that's been happening with Rory and Mal, I would say Joe's been up on the ropes just a tiny bit, taking a couple rib shots. Man, Olivia came in the last 24, and I mean, she's aiming straight for the head, okay? It's looking pretty damn bad. So she released a 26-minute video detailing some of the interactions that she had that she felt very uncomfortable about because Joe was saying some very sexual comments towards her on the podcast. Like, this is footage that people are cutting together that you can see play out, and apparently they were editing out some of the stuff that was still very uncomfortable, and because of that the entire thing reached a head and she decided that she was going to leave off of the network. After doing this and all this information coming out, we have the other co-host in full disarray. They're running for the hills. Bridget Kelly is apparently blocking people that is like coming at her about it, because one thing that's very, very interesting about this entire ordeal is women usually stand together with the sisters, and I know we're in the era of protect black women, beat a nigga to death over black women. That's the era that we're currently living in at the moment, right? And it's just interesting to see that one sister is claiming that she's felt sexually harassed, she's felt uncomfortable, and the other ones, they didn't even bring it up. I don't even think they talked about this. They talked about it now in the new episode that they've released this today that we're going to get to a little later, but they didn't mention this at all when it was happening. And even Mandi B went on Twitter and she said, y'all be tweeting me about all this fucking podcast drama all week like I'm not planning a damn funeral for my cousin who was murdered on fucking Mother's Day. The entitlement from y'all is nasty. Mandi B, I have a quote for you from the late great King Von. Bitch, fix your face. Nobody gives a fuck. Everybody going through the same thing. You know how it goes here. So, okay, let me stop. All right. But yeah, like, I'm not trying to hear that shit. I don't give a fuck about that. The thing I give a fuck about is you talking about a black woman being harassed and you can't stand behind your sister, Mandi. But you was shading her on the fucking podcast though, right? And then they want to bring a goddamn therapist on their podcast today talking about. In the episode of the See the Thing Is, Bridget Kelly and Mandi B are joined by Bridget's life coach, Sarita, as the three begin to discuss how to move forward, being in tune with your emotions and being a strong black woman. They ain't even fucking black! Stop, I'm sorry. Rob from the future here. So I actually did some research, right? I checked the background ethnicity of these motherfuckers. So I go to Mandi B's IG page, Full Court Pumps. She just posted a picture up of her motherfucking mama. Does this look like a black woman to you, nigga? That look like a motherfucking black woman to you? That ain't no motherfucking black woman. Want to talk about black women? You ain't no motherfucking black woman. And then I went over to Bridget Kelly shit. I'm looking at Bridget Kelly. It says Bridget Kelly, who is biracial background. She from the Bahamas and Irish. You diluted melanin having bitch. You the first furthest thing from a black woman. Motherfuckers have a little melanin, a little drop of melanin in them, all of a sudden start thinking they a sister. And they don't even wear their hair in any Afrocentric hairstyles. Be having European down to the goddamn toes European hairstyle, but they want to talk about they some fucking black woman. If you a sister, then I'm fucking white at that point. Ain't no, look at this. Look at Mandi B's mama. That's a black woman? That's a motherfucking black woman? That's a motherfucking black woman, nigga? That's a motherfucking black woman? I have made the motherfucking executive decision to start degrading some of y'all black motherfuckers' melanin, and I will continue to do so. Since it's okay to do it to me, every time I give an opinion, I get called the coon. So guess what? Y'all gonna dilute my melanin? Don't even worry about it. I got some water in the other room. I'ma dilute your shit too. Now let's get back to the video. Followed by a recap of events from the past week. Bridget and Mandi go over statements made by their former co-host on Monday morning and speak about the specific See the Thing Is episode involved, while also dealing with social media attacks on their character. Continued discussions by the trio include navigating in an industry with blurred lines professionally and personally, dealing with the pressure outside of the podcast, therapy, why mental health and wellness departments are needed in the industry, and more. I'm not watching this fucking podcast. I'm not giving you hoes an hour and 30 minutes of my fucking life clock. All the shit I could randomly do, you know what I'm about to do for the next hour and 30 minutes? Play a fucking video game. Absolutely nothing, essentially. But I'll be damned, I'm gonna give it to you. Niggas is fucking crazy. Anyways, so after all of this, Joe Budden this morning has officially released a statement, which I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't know how this is gonna look. And before I read it, let me explain why I don't know how this is gonna look, because the thing about entertainment and the space that we're in, as long as you make some entertaining content and people mess with you, they'll always watch, even if they can't really stand you, because the content is entertaining. Like, damn, that nigga got some heat rock. It's like a fiend, right? It's a fiend to the rock. They gotta smoke it. So with Rory and Mal, when you saw them initially leave, people eventually started to come back around. They started to mess with the two new guys that he had on the podcast, and all that stuff went out the window. But I say this so much in these videos that it's like, yo, it's I know it's tiring. I'm tired of saying it, but it's the truth. As a man, what do we say? Anything sexual misconduct with women, beating on women, and anything with kids, when you have those attached to you in any capacity and there's some money on the table, it's gonna look really bad. It draws lines in the sand that morally people have a hard time turning a blind eye to. Some people can, some people can't. Some people can separate the art from the artist. Some niggas is just like, nah, if you even have a sense of that type of aura on you, I'm not dealing with you. So honestly, when it's Rory and Mal saying, you know what, I'm tired of everything going on with Joe and how he did his friends, I'm out. I feel like if Joe and the network continues to make very good content, people come back around. But because we got something like this, and I mean, when Olivia Dope made this video, she's coming with the screenshots. Even some of the Reddit detectives, I don't even know if this is a detractor community that I've slipped upon on Reddit, but even they have started to splice together the actual episodes to showcase more so with her argument that she's making in her video.
At 19 minutes and 26 seconds, another edit happens because Joe makes another suggestion to having sex with me. This is shown, Joseph makes another suggestion to have sex with me. That scene is edited out, and what is shown in right after that is me closing my eyes, saying no, and then he says, never mind.
You got the key.
Focus.
But, never mind.
No, I love the house building analogy, but you can't, if you're going to drive by the house.
Goes down the line to give everyone their accolades. He starts with Mandi. He goes to Bridget. And then once he gets to me, the scene is edited again because he says, Olivia is unique because I want to fuck Olivia and the fans love her. That scene is edited out. Those words are edited out. But what's left there is me widening my eyes in shock and embarrassment because after he asked if I was okay and he said he would come back to lighten the mood, I didn't think he would once again reference to wanting to have sex with me.
This way by design. Mandi has been potting for a little while now.
Almost 5
Bridget
years.
has been in the industry for a little while now. So we got a fresh
Bro, I can't
energy.
stand him.
We got a really fresh energy
I can't stand
with
him.
Olivia.
She's been a DJ for a decade.
At 2 hours, 17 minutes, and 5 seconds in the timestamp, Joe asked if he can give me an on-air hug. My co-host said yes, they insist, and I slowly get up to hug him. Still apprehensive, I give him a hug somewhat of a distance to kind of hug, no pelvis there. It's unbeknownst to me until I actually watched back the episode that he was moving his hips while he was hugging me. I laugh uncomfortably because I don't know what else to do at that point.
While y'all are talking, can I go get an on-air hug from Olivia?
Yes.
Y'all need to talk more. Come on,
I love
network
this.
vibes.
Look at this family. Look at this family affair.
I love it.
I love the choice of music on the way out too.
Seriously, he tells me every week.
At this point in time, I just recommend any woman that thinks about working with this person in any capacity, please think again.
And the thing, before I read Joe's statement again, when you apologize for the misconduct that you've done, now I can see some people saying like, okay, this is a very uncomfortable conversation that we have to have. And I wouldn't be surprised if some sponsorships say, you know what, I don't even know if I want to be around you right now. The block's kind of hot. I'm not saying you can't come back onto the street and push that crack for me, but you too hot right now, man. You too hot. The police looking at you nonstop. So I see him losing a sponsorship, or people just maybe distancing themselves just for a tiny bit, man. Because again, we are in the protect black women era right now, and whoo boy, he decided to do the wrong thing in the wrong era. So with that being said, let me go ahead and read Joe's statement. According to Rolling Stone, he has responded and said, as a podcaster, it is my job to address topics and create dialogue around them. During the conversation on See the Thing Is podcast, I didn't handle the topics with the sensitivity they deserved. I recognized my words empowering the situation created an upsetting environment for Olivia. Upon reflection, both the network and I take accountability for this. He continued, stating, I apologize sincerely to Olivia, her former co-hosts, our staff, and the public. In an effort to not further any trauma, the episode will be removed from all platforms. We support all women's rights to feel comfortable and protected in the workplace. We fell short of that in this instance. We support Olivia in her quest to heal, applaud her for finding the strength to share her experience, and wish her the best in her future endeavors. I'm taking the time to listen and learn. We have already begun to make the necessary changes to ensure this is a safe environment for all moving forward. We at the network endeavor to continue to elevate Black women's voices and create opportunities to have constructive conversations to impact change. So yeah, that's everything that's been going on with Big Joe and the Joe Budden podcast. For the people that watch it or aware what's going on with this, let me know how you feel down in the comment section below. But that being said, I guess that's where we're going to wrap this up here. You guys know where to find me, twitter.com/RMPKampachi. If you're new, go ahead and throw me a sub and like the video. And if you haven't checked out that Patreon with over 110 hours of additional content, you can get in for as low as $5. But with that being said, I'm going to catch you guys on the next one. Everybody have a great day, and I will talk to you guys soon.